Hello. Today is October the 8th of 2012. It's time to begin to open the Spirit series. The Spirit series is going to be on the love superstructure. I'll explain more in depth what that means. Again, my name is Matthew Sean Ewing. It's the name I was given at birth. I've donned a few since then, but we'll get to that by and by. There are a few intrinsic principles, static concepts that exist throughout all versions of existence, all versions of density existence, that allow for flexibility. Love is one of them. Trust is another. Empathy is another. But also individuality, collection, power. These are constants that allow for the randomness, that allow for patterns to be generated, but also slightly altered, so that you have a myriad of experience. One of the refined cultivations that a person can get in their life is to identify these superstructures so that you can find them within yourself and how they resonate with you. Because then what you begin to do is you abdicate control to that which is. And then you start really only cultivating the subtleties, the things that are really malleable. Most people spend their time, they invest their time trying to, in essence, control something that is rigid, that can't be, in fact, changed. So what you do is you accept that which is, and you learn to cultivate that which can be. These are the practices that I'm giving to you. The very first one of those, what those things that are, is grace. Grace is the concept, the understanding, the idea that the consequences of your choices can never be denied to you. But the inverse is true as well. You can never avoid the consequences of the choices that you make. Nor do you have to face the consequences of other people's choices. See, grace comes to fruition when you understand the ultimate responsibility of you living your own life. You are all that exists, every single person. So there is nothing that manifests or comes into your life that you did not literally put there. That is grace. It is the superstructure that allows for that to be the reality, this reality. There are three avenues where grace is readily identifiable. The first one, the body concept, is the three graces, is the renewal aspect of the body. It's the intrinsic fact that your body is remaking itself every second of every day. It means that you are not bound to any physical form, any physical expression of that form. The way you feel now does not dictate how you can choose to feel if you so cultivate it. Your body will renew around the sort of the boundaries that you give it. If you feel sluggish or obese or dense now, the truth is your body is already in the process of remaking itself. If you are willing to allow it to unfold the way that you would like to look, like to feel, it will renew in that way. That is grace. It means that the consequences of you choosing food that is based on the nutritional value to your body, eating only as an energy source, because that's what food is, moving your body, exercising, the consequences of those choices cannot be denied to you. You will then go into the body shape that your body wants to be. That's just period. The mind concept of grace can be expressed by its neutrality. Literally, the mind is neutral. by its very constituent nature, it has no value assignments or judgments. People will say that this is a false concept because the mind holds our value assignments and judgments. The mind holds our value assignments and judgments. It does not come with any. No child comes with programming. It comes with no disposition as to what is right, what is wrong, what is important, what is not important, what is valuable. These things are given to the mind as operational precepts. They're software that we choose to upload and download. You can also choose, just like you can on your computer, to uninstall them if you find they do not work with you anymore. People do not like to believe that things like beliefs and values are mutable, but if you were willing to look at them just rationally, you would realize that even if you hold the same belief, it's going to grow in depth and complexion. It's going to evolve. It's going to change. By its very nature, everything that happens within the mind is not, meaning it belongs to the malleable realm because it does not apply to natural existence, which exists at a state of neutrality, where there's no elevation or devaluation of anything. The neutrality of the mind also, it can extend back to the body. Once you've cultivated the body as a renewal vessel and you've accepted your responsibility to choose the outgrowth of that renewing, because the renewing is a part of the malleable version of the superstructure. The superstructure says, I am. In this moment, I am. That is going to remain. You could also add on, I am changing. That is going to be constant. I am changing into is malleable. The into is malleable. So that is the grace concept. The grace allows the first two constants, and it gives you the ability to, with your actions, shape the consequences that are going to be on the other end. I am changing into light. I am changing into truth. I am changing into density. I am changing into an ascended being. I am those things. Once you get to the mind and you can embrace the neutrality that is its base mode of existence, then you've gotten to the grace concept of your mind. You've gotten to the constant. The mind is intrinsically neutral. It's intrinsically blank. When you go into any subject matter, the mind does not have a predisposition about that subject. You carry your predispositions with you. And you say, view this thing through this filter. If you choose to abdicate those filters, then you will be able to approach every subject matter completely open and perceive it of its own. Because what you will be perceiving is the isness, the neutrality of the thing, and then interacting with the malleable, interacting with the subtle, and allowing for the constant. Most of this life is subtle. If you can learn to cultivate in the subtle realm of your life, of your body, of your mind, you will literally determine the outgrowth, the changing into, for not only your body and your mind, but for all of the body and mind that is you. The spiritual aspect of grace is forgiveness. It means that you are not held to what has happened. Let me repeat that. I don't normally do this, but it's true. You are not bound to the road that brought you to where you are. It does not matter what it is. Tradition, legacy, ancestry, bloodline. None of them bind you. You are free in this moment to be whoever you want to be. Whoever you are. If you're going to choose you. Be authentic. Realize that the choices that other people made by the nature of grace have nothing to fucking do with you. Unless you choose for them too. Meaning, if your parents chose to treat you poorly, that does not have to affect you in this moment, because they're not in this moment with you. Here you are free. You are the free sovereign being that you always have been. If they still feel that it's their nature to express their interaction with you on those terms, then choose not to be with them. And then you will not be denied the consequences of that choice, which is more time with this, with yourself. That's the nature of cultivation. It's also the nature of forgiveness. Forgiveness allows for the fact that you can literally look back at everything, no matter what your choices were, no matter what the consequences of those choices were. And you can say, you know what? I'm going to let that go. I'm going to forgive this person. I'm going to give them love and acceptance, allowance of their own nature. And I'm going to free myself to accept and allow my own. See, forgiveness is not a gift that you grant to someone. It's a gift you grant to yourself and share with others. If you are capable of cultivating forgiveness, then the body's renewal process becomes a piece of cake. The mind's neutrality process becomes a piece of cake. If you can learn to cultivate the subtleties, the density models become easy. They become basic work for you. The subtlety models are more elusive. They require you to have stillness of mind, to have awareness of body. You can't actually get into the subtlety layers until you've come into alignment on those two levels. Once you know the possibility of the levels of grace, once you're aware of them, then look inside of yourself and find the truth of what I say. What I mean is this: vet it, translate it, test it against your own construction. Everything that I present to you, I have gained by looking within myself, by seeing what is there, what remains when I take away that which cannot be. Those are my grace. And then from there, I start venturing out to find what is malleable. And then from there, I start cultivating the malleable to take shape as the grace. To take shape as that which is. And the more that I do that, the more attractive I become. The more potent, the more powerful, the more in this moment, the more substantive, the more the universe comes to me in every form. The greater my perspective, the greater my depth, the greater my awareness of my connection to you, to this moment, to all that is. The totality of this is to understand intrinsically that you never get away from the reality of your oneness, your collectiveness, and your wholeness. You are one singular focus of consciousness. But that does not stop you. It does not say that that is what you are alone. You are that. But you are also the collective of your family, the collective of the society that you identify with, the collective of humanity, if you choose to identify with that, the collective of an organism that is a part of a planet that is a bioorganic light weave and a sentient organism that is individual of itself. That is a collective. You are a part of that. You're also part of the whole, part of the cosmos. You are what keeps it running, what allows it to function, and what gives it purpose for that function. You never stop being any of those things. The totality is what I'm saying is, I'm asking you to view these concepts, view these constants from the reality of who you are as a person. It goes back to the 5 questions. The very first one is, who am I? The grace lies within answering that question. Because the who am I is the constant. It is that which remains. Once you get there, then you move into the malleable, the mind. The mind concepts are fluid. It's literally why you can have a thought and you can have a contradictory thought. You can have 100 visualizations, but only the one that you choose to make rigid, choose to crystallize, will actually manifest in your reality. The spirit is even more subtle. It shifts. It flows. Be the river, up and down, and you will flow too. I love you. Bye.